MSP here, and today we'll be doing a budget deck spotlight featuring the Priest class. As per my last Arena video, the Priest class is in a very good position for PvP. So let's take a look at a very inexpensive deck to make, so you can jump right into the class. Now, I've seen other people's budget decks, and sometimes they have up to 6 rares in them. For my budget decks, I have a maximum of 2 rares, and for this one in particular, there are actually no rares at all, so this deck is very easy to put together. So, let's get started. New deck. We are going to choose the Priest class. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is the Priest spells. As I mentioned, there are no rares in this deck. It's all basics and commons. So we're going to take 1 silence. We want to take the 0 cost silence so we can play it during a turn without spending any resources on it. Then we're going to be taking some of the signature spells that we're going to be using. We're going to be taking 2 Mind Visions, 2 Northshire Clerics. We're going to take 1 Divine Spirit. We're going to take 2 Shadow Word Pains and 2 Shadow Word Deaths, 2 Thought Steals, 2 Lightspawns, 2 Holy Novas, 2 Temple Enforcers, and 2 Mind Controls. The rationale behind these spells, Mind Vision, Thought Steal, and Mind Control are all about taking cards from your opponent, which buffers the strength of the deck. Even though this card has only basics and common cards, as you play decks that contain legendaries or lots of rares or epics, this deck actually becomes stronger because you're taking cards from that sort of deck. So it becomes a great budget deck to use and can even contend with decks that have a substantial investment in them. So now let's go ahead and have a look at the neutral cards. Now to counter Warrior, Paladin, Shaman, and Hunter weapons, we're going to take 1 Acidic Swamp Ooze. If you play any of those classes, hold the Acidic Swamp Ooze until they've played a weapon. You wouldn't want to play before then. Then we're going to take 2 Faerie Dragons. The Faerie Dragon is a fantastic creature that really gives mages and priests headaches because it can't be targeted. Then we're going to also be taking the Harvest Golem. Harvest Golems are notoriously difficult to get rid of, and they can normally stay around for a couple of trades, so it's a great card for this deck. And then we're going to go with my arena favorite, the Chillwind Yeti. Take 2 of those. We're going to take 1 Mogu'shan Warden. That is primarily to try to counter a Hunter Rush deck. You'd be using the Divine Spirit plus the Mogu'shan Warden around turn 7 or so, 7 or 8, depending on how long it takes them to ramp up. And that's in an attempt to sort of stifle off any sort of Hunter Rush. You'd want to wait until after deadly shots are played before you play out that combo. And then we're going to go with Adventure Co. Mercenary. This is a fantastic card. A 7/6 for 5 is great. The disadvantage doesn't even really become a disadvantage because most of the time it'll be dead within a turn or 2, and then you can just continue to play other creatures or other minions. So it's a fantastic card that really helps uptrade as you get to endgame. And there you have it. So generally speaking, what you try to do is lay out cards that can trade favorably, like the Chillwind Yeti, the Harvest Golem, the Adventure Co. Mercenary, Temple Enforcer. The whole purpose is to clear the board every turn, if at all possible, and then heal up your minions so that way you maintain board presence, and then use Mind Vision, Thought Steal, and Mind Control to pull cards from your opponent that you can either kill them with or stifle their board position, letting your big creatures, like the Lightspawn with Divine Spirit on it, or a Adventure Co. Mercenary, or a Temple Enforcer to finish off the match. And that's assuming you don't get something ridiculously awesome through a Mind Control and kill the opponent that way. Now that the deck's ready, let's go ahead and take it for a spin. So it looks like we're going to be facing off against a Warrior this time. Okay, now with this deck in particular, you want to make sure that your opening hand, especially against something that has rush capabilities like a Warrior, has some early game options available. So while I wouldn't necessarily play the Acidic Swamp Ooze right off the bat, a Shadow Word Pain is good, and I can drop the Swamp Ooze if there's something ridiculous that gets played out right off the bat. Okay. So the 2 Lightspawns in hand, that's a bit troublesome to start with. 4 cost with the 5/5 that reduces is really vulnerable to anything with charge. Hopefully I can bait out and execute. Most of the time with this sort of deck, what you want to make sure to do is bait out the executes, so that way when your mind controls and thought steals come into play, you can really play cards with impunity. Okay, Divine Spirit. So obviously Lightspawn plus Divine Spirit is a fantastic combination, and he is starting out quickly. So looks like he's playing some... Okay, excellent. Northshire Cleric. That's going to be my play. Obviously he'd have to use up an execute in order to finish that off. And let's just go ahead and, let's get that Divine Spirit going. Double up that health, and that'll really bait and execute, or will stick around for a while and give me some good, solid card draw. You can't afford to really be timid and wait for a late game with a warrior. You do have to be aggressive. Obviously, this isn't aggressive from a damage perspective, but it is aggressive from a card draw perspective, and that's what we really need. We need card advantage for this one. And he only just ran in and attacked me. That's perfect. Obviously, I'm going to trade off and heal, get that extra card up. I've got a mind control for when we get to late game, and another Shadow Word Pain. That's excellent. I've got a very strong board position, and I can afford to hang on to my Acidic Swamp Ooze at this stage to see what he plays. Okay, just armoring up. That's fine. And another Loot Hoarder. Okay. Well, he's got some amazing early game card draw. Let's do what we did just before. Yeah, trade it off, heal up, get a card. I'm fine with that. At this point, I'm getting my use out of the Northshire Cleric with that double health. At this point, if I lose it, it's fine, because I've been able to get 2 cards off of it. If I could get a third, that'd be great. And a Shield Slam. Okay, so obviously my opponent has a better deck than I do, already with 1 epic showing. And let's get a Lightspawn out there and start really taking command of the field. I managed to trade off 2 of his Loot Hoarders and gain 2 cards for the 2 cards that I spent. So that was a really good trade. And let's see what he does against that Lightspawn. Obviously, with nothing on the field, his options are limited. He could Whirlwind or Execute. And I could just Shadow or Pain anything that comes out if I really wanted to, if it's particularly problematic. Whirlwind and Execute. Yep, okay. So that's great. So that was 1 card for 2 of his. We just really want to make sure that we're keeping that card advantage. Obviously, the Kor'kron Elite is problematic because it's a 4 attack. So, I don't really want to lay out the Lightspawn just yet. So let's go ahead and lay out the Lightspawn. I'm happy to heal myself. Let's make it a big target. Obviously, the purpose of this deck is really to delay until turn 8, and then you can do some ridiculous grabs with Mind Control. I've got 2 of my Mind Controls in hand, so I'm perfectly fine. Okay, Cold Like Oracle. Okay, great. A Thought Steal. That's perfect. Excellent. Sounds great. I would definitely not mind that at all. And another Cold Light Oracle. Okay, so my hand is full, so I lose my Mogu'shan Warden, which is a little bit tragic, and a Harvest Golem. Luckily, the Harvest Golem doesn't hit me too hard, but now I do need to ditch cards from my hand as quickly as possible. Okay, and he's just set himself up for a great Holy Nova, so that way I heal back up my my Lightspawn and kill off both of his Cold Light Oracles. So let's just go ahead and throw that on out. Heal up. Get back up to 3, heal him up to 5, and then strike in for 5. That takes out his armor, does a point of damage in case he has another of those shield bashes. And I do need to start spending more cards per turn, if at all possible. That way I can actually clear some room for a Thought Steal. Because if he's already got 2 Cold Light Oracles and 1 Shield Bash, and an Armor Smith. Okay, so this guy has a lot of rares and epics in his deck, and that makes... Ooh, another Armor Smith. Okay, so that's fine. He can gain 2 armor. I'm not really concerned about the Armor Smiths per se. I definitely want to stop them. So I'm more inclined at this stage to silence those. I mean, there is... Yeah, let's go ahead and destroy 1. There's not much in a Warriors deck that can honestly get silenced beneficially. So I'll just silence that off in case he has another Shield Slam in his hand. That way he doesn't automatically raise that up. And he'd have to use something like a Furious Taskmaster to take out my Lightspawn at this point. And I'd be fine with that. Okay, Cleave. Yep, that's fine. On 1. Okay, and Arathi Weaponsmith. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Yep. And that's, of course, the whole purpose of the Harvest Golem is to take that damage and trade off and still have something available on hand. So, let's see. Yep, definitely. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Obviously, the Kor'kron Elite is what I'm really concerned about, and I'm happy to trade that off and get a Venture Co. Mercenary out in play, heal myself up, and now I've got a big threat on the field. He's already used 1 Execute, so that's, this should draw out another Execute if he's got it. Unless he has some, because he's also used both of his Kor'kron Elites, so he'd have to lay out, let's see what else he's got. And a Slam, okay. Is he going to use an Execute? Oh, and a Shield Slam on top of it. Okay. And then he's going to attack. Okay. I'm fine with him burning 3 resources, 2 cards, and his last charge's weapon, and he takes 7 for that. That is a Venture Co. Mercenary well spent. Especially because, again, I've got 2 Mind Controls in hand. I've got a Thought Steal. Ooh, I've got a Mind Vision. That is great, especially when your opponent starts getting low on cards. Ooh, okay, so he's also got some legendaries. Sylvanas Windrunner, hello, thank you, yes, please. And that's really the beauty of the Priest deck, and this deck in particular, is you really get the opportunity to reverse the advantage that an opponent has. And yeah, let's lay it on down. If he trades, I can just heal it up and get that Yeti out there as well. No, let's actually Thought Steal. I want to Thought Steal because anytime you're in a board neutral position where you have an advantage or it's neutral, that's when you want to use your card draws. You want to make sure that your card draw is used as quickly as possible because it gives you so many opportunities. Like there, okay, that's fine. He's used up one of his Arcanite Reapers, and I'm going to Acidic Swamp Ooze to finish that off. And now I've just made him waste a ton of resources trying to get rid of his own card, which I stole. So as an opponent's deck improves, this Priest deck also improves because you get Mind Controls, and you get Thought Steals and Mind Visions. We're able to play these cards that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. And let's see what he does. Okay, Onyxia! Yeah, why not? Sure. Okay, that is an obvious choice for a Mind Control. I'm more than happy to get that played out, but here we go. So he's just laid out, this 8/8, and he's got a board full, and all I have to do is start taking it. So while it's a significant mana investment to Mind Control something, you're making him spend resources to destroy his own powerful cards. And sure, I'll just heal myself. Why not? So I'm at an extraordinarily favorable board position here. He's obviously already had 2 legendaries, 2 epics, a bunch of rares. Okay, so he's not trading off. So maybe he has a Brawl? Because otherwise he would theoretically be trading off and trying to finish off. Okay, yeah, there it is. So, again, a couple legendaries already, some rares, some epics. His deck composition is far... Okay, so I didn't win. Oh well. I was hoping maybe Onyxia would finish everyone off, but that's fine. And all he's got is a 1/1 on the board. And an Usher Drake. So he's got a ton of superior cards, and I'm already still in a very favorable board position. So I could either Venture Co. Mercenary or Chillwind Yeti. Let's Chillwind Yeti and then buff it up so that way it should stay on the field unless he Arcanite Reapers and attacks into it. But again, we're just making him trade more cards then I'm spending. So I maintain a good board position, a good card advantage, and I've still got another mind control ready to take anything else that he may have. Because obviously he has a Sylvanas in hand, because I mind visioned it. So I can just, take out the mind vision. Battle Rage? What's he? Okay, so just finishing that off. And his second execute. Wonderful. So now my Venture Co Mercenary is going to be safe. He's used up 2 executes. He's used up 2 shield bashes. So now is when my deck starts getting very scary. So yeah, with impunity, let me just go ahead and drop that off. I'm going to just double its health to make it a nightmare to deal with. Heal up. So yeah, we're just going to make him a nightmare to deal with. And I'm fine with him, using whatever to try and get rid of it. I've got an execute in hand. I've got a mind control in hand. I have a Shadow Word Death in hand. So I am very impervious to most of his options. And he's just throwing rares and epics and legendaries like, they were nothing. For people who have just started in Hearthstone or who haven't had the opportunity to get lots of packs yet or play lots of arena matches yet, the budget deck is really an attempt at equalizing that difference. We're spending a very little amount of in-game currency to formulate this deck and still have it be exceptionally powerful because we're using his own cards against him. So it's fine that you have all these great... Now, he's only got 2 cards in hand. Definitely. This is another perfect time for a Mind Vision. And not so great. I was hoping, because he's still got the Sylvanas in hand, so I was hoping for his second Sylvanas. So let's go ahead and... let's just strike in. We want to try and finish this match, put some pressure on him, and now he's almost out of cards because he had an insane amount of card draw. He's got 2 Azure Drakes, he's got the 2 of the Loot Hoarders. He's been running through these cards, and there it is, Sylvanas. That's fine. And another brawl. Okay. And I guess he's hoping that his guy gets out. Oh, and he does. Okay. You know what? Perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. Obviously, I just Shadow Word Death it. I don't even need to use... I don't even need to use my mind control because I had such a ready response. And just in case he has a 4 attack minion, now I can mind control his last play. He's out of cards. I've got an execute, an inner fire, and a mind control. There's absolutely no way that he's got any options here. Yep, that's fine. He's got a 3/3. I don't need to draw cards, so I could just, Yep, okay. And now he's done. So, obviously, a far superior deck. And you can just see how a priest has the options to control that easily. So this budget deck gives you a fighting chance against anyone who has a significant amount of time or funds invested into Hearthstone, and that's one of the reasons why, of course, the priest class is very strong at this current juncture, and why, of course, a lot of people are very upset about it, because they have these powerful cards, and they're hoping to win, and then the priest says, yoink, and takes them, and then that's game over. So if you end up trying out this budget priest deck, please leave a comment in the field below, letting me know how you do. And of course, if you like the content, please take the time to subscribe. As always, I'm MSB, wishing you good games and good times.